Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 11 of the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. 11, like it's 11:11. Make a wish. Who else does that and then panics to make it before it becomes 11:12? If you don't do that, you need to start. My name is Nina Adio, and I'd like to thank you for allowing this podcast into your earbuds, your Bluetooth, your car radio, wherever you are listening from. On the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast, I discuss tips and tricks for wedding pros to DIY their social media or to gain the confidence to outsource it. Now, last week we talked about Black Friday and whether or not it can work for wedding professionals. So be sure to go back and listen to episode 10 because I think the answer might surprise you. This week, we're going to talk about my 3 tips to help you keep calm, organized, or just on top of things during the holiday event season. This idea came to me from a podcast I listened to called What's Your Flight Plan with Marie and Helen. They discussed this in terms of our personal life, and I enjoyed it so much that I wanted to talk about it in relation to our businesses. Now, the holiday season looks different for each wedding professional. For venues, DJs, and corporate event participants, this is when you're going to be busy during the week where you have businesses, charities, and so forth hosting their holiday events, which often happen Monday to Friday. For strictly wedding professionals, you may find yourself more busy this year with events during the holiday season that had been rescheduled from 2020 because then it was a scramble for these dates. And then lastly, those with tangible products like photographers who make cards or people who do stationery and so forth, you may be bombarded with holiday orders being rushed out. Busy looks different for everybody, but how can we make busy less daunting or stressful? Now, number 1, Marie and Helen mentioned this on their podcast, and it applies here. Make a list. They mentioned Santa making a list and checking it twice, and I now firmly believe that what he had was a to-do list, not a list of names like we were led to believe. So for me, my to-do list is on a whiteboard, and it is all of the must-achieve tasks I have for the day. If you don't prefer a physical list or planner, try installing an app or making it on a Google Doc where you can access it from everywhere. Some people are going to like putting everything possible on their list. And then others like me, I just want to put the need to get done stuff because otherwise I'm going to get so overwhelmed. But it's always nice to throw in a little freebie, something you're going to get done that's going to be easy. So you can just boom, check it off. Now, if you're in serious overwhelm, if you're feeling truly overwhelmed right now, what I suggest you do is list all the things you have to do that are making you feel that way. Then review each of those items and mark off which of those you can outsource. And that's going to take us to topic number 2 of outsourcing. Now, don't talk yourself out of it worrying about price or cost or I can't outsource. Just first list off what you can outsource, okay? Because then that's going to be a goal for you, something that as your business grows, you know what you're going to outsource and what you can outsource. Now, review that list and think about your resources. Do you have an administrative assistant or team member who can help you with some of these tasks? Do you have a family member in or nearing college who would take on an internship? Get creative when you're thinking about who you have that can help you and who you can outsource things to. Now, if none of those align, price out what it would cost to outsource these items for the season only. I know for my business in specific, doing social media marketing, I do offer 3-month social media plans just for the holiday season to help businesses during their busiest time of year. While it's still an investment of 3 months rather than, 12 months plus, it's definitely more comfortable starting point for some. And what I mean by busiest time of year, busiest time for inquiries to come in. So that's when it's really important to get that social media going. And that's why I offer 3 months during that season. Now, I work with a wedding magazine and they take on interns for about 3 to 4 months of the year from their local college. So if you're nervous about taking on help, remember it doesn't have to be forever. And you can even just start to put out feelers. Start with an Instagram story and see the responses you get and what sort of feelings it brings out in you and the people who are responding to it. Or if you're looking to bring on a freelancing professional to take on tasks like myself, schedule a free call and ask your questions. You may find that's perfectly aligned with what you're looking for. The next suggestion I have is getting ahead. For me, this looks like doing Christmas related content before Thanksgiving. And that's because that was a big honk. Oh, I'm going to leave it. Real life, guys, real life. So the last thing I want to be doing during Thanksgiving or during the holiday time, after Thanksgiving really, is setting up, filming, editing, and so forth. Now, okay, so my husband does not believe in decorating before Thanksgiving, but we compromised. I have one shelf area that I can, decorate and bring the Christmas lights on for. And this is so I can pre film content. Similarly, I could start batch filming this podcast. I could start scheduling out my own content, things like that. What is stuff that you have that you can start getting done now so you won't have to worry about it later? Perhaps editing an album sooner than promised, or taking on an additional office hour this month so you can avoid it next month. Think about what you can do now to make things less busy later, or just slowly chip away at it. Just doing a little more today to help you feel less stressed tomorrow. Now, those are my top 3 tips, but I'll just brainstorm a little more of what I do and share with you. And I'm curious to know what your tips are. So be sure to message me on Instagram at I Do Wedding Marketing. But one thing I really enjoy doing to keep calm is having, or less overwhelmed, is having a set end time of when I know I am not working beyond this point. That always helps me to transition, and then I I take out the book, I put away the Instagram, and I put the phone on airplane mode. Similarly, to start my day, since I don't commute when I'm working in the office and working from home, I kind of create a commute. I take a walk on those days, and that serves as my transition from home time to working time. So I know when I get home from my walk, all right, that's it, it's time to go. Also, I like to have something that kind of cheers me on or keeps me motivated while I'm working. So for me, I like putting on wrestling events, and I like this because they are 4 hours long. So my little trick to myself is that I have to work the full duration of the event, and I like hearing it in the background. It makes me smile, makes me laugh, and then I know that's how I'm getting my straight 4 hours in of uninterrupted work. And then if I want to do more after that, I can, but I know I achieved what I wanted to. This is in contrast to when I would just work on and off for 8 hours. So I was doing so work for longer periods of time rather than just working straight through for half the time. So that's why I started doing that. When I'm working with other people, and I can't have wrestling on a TV. Even if I had my headphones on, I would pick a different album to listen to. Especially if you have Apple Music, where you can listen to literally every album or any album, but you could do that with YouTube pretty much too. I'd pick a different Broadway soundtrack to listen to in the background while I worked, or a different, artist album, and that kind of just made me feel really, I don't know, inspired and productive, because it's like, oh, I'm not only working, but I've listened to 3 new albums. Maybe that's just me being crazy. Also, meditating is a huge help to just slow down, monitor your breathing, get back in touch with yourself. And there are applications you can download for that, as well as YouTube videos. You could look up a guided meditation, and that will help you learning that and to do that. Also, being mindful of what you're watching and what you're reading during stressful times. The Real Housewives, okay, they actually would stress me out more because they would argue so much that I felt like I was attracting into my life. So right now, I'm just watching YouTube and house shows, but it's working, it's keeping me calm. And don't underestimate the power of self help audiobooks. The You Are a Badass books, those are so great to listen to or to read, and just help you really remember who you are and what you're capable of. So even if you just read 5 pages a day before bed, I really think it will help you to end the day feeling great. One last thing I do before bed is I kind of will write out what I want to achieve the next day. And it doesn't have to be tasks. It can just be tomorrow I want to feel in control. Tomorrow I want to feel happy about waking up. Tomorrow I want to feel inspired. Tomorrow, and just keep going like that. And then I don't know, I just feel like it happens. And I wake up and I do the damn thing. So I hope this has helped you feel inspired to do the damn thing. And if you have more you want to talk about, you can always send me a message on Instagram at I Do Wedding Marketing. Don't forget that we are expanding and we have slots available for full service social media marketing services, or like I mentioned, that 3-month package right now. So you can learn more about that on my website. If you enjoyed hearing this today, please leave an Apple Podcast review, as it really means a lot to me and it helps more professionals find this podcast. New episodes of the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast drop on Wednesdays. I'm also live on Instagram on Wednesdays. I call it Wedding Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. You can learn more about my services and inquire about working together at www.idoweddingmarketing.com. Thanks for being here, and until next time.